Imagine a time when there was nothing. No sky above, no earth beneath, no sun rising, no birds singing, no oceans moving. Just silence. Deep, endless silence. And then? God spoke. One sentence. One command. And everything began. This is not just the beginning of the Bible. This is the beginning of everything. And today, I want to take you on a journey back to that moment. Not like a history lesson. Not like a list of events. But like a living, breathing story. A story filled with beauty, purpose, failure, mercy, and hope. This is the story of the book of Genesis, the story of creation and God's people. From the very first verse, Genesis tells us something powerful. Before anything else existed, God was already there. He wasn't created. He didn't appear suddenly. He simply was. And when God decided to create, He didn't struggle or fight chaos. He spoke. Let there be light. And light obeyed. Darkness didn't argue. Light didn't hesitate. It just appeared. Day after day, God shaped the universe with intention. The sky stretched wide. Waters gathered together. Dry land rose up. Trees burst from the ground, full of fruit and life. Stars filled the heavens, each placed with care. And finally, animals filled the earth, the seas, and the skies. But then God did something different. Something personal. He didn't just speak this time. He formed man from the dust of the ground. Hands shaping clay. Breath filling lungs. And Adam opened his eyes to a world made just for him. Imagine that moment. The first human breath. The first heartbeat. The first sunrise ever seen by human eyes. God placed Adam in a garden called Eden, a place of beauty, peace, and abundance. And Adam was not alone for long. God created Eve, not as an afterthought, but as a partner. Together, they lived in perfect harmony with God, with nature, and with each other. There was only one command. One simple instruction. Trust God. Don't eat from one tree. And for a time, everything was perfect. But then came the voice of doubt. The serpent whispered lies. Did God really say? And in that moment, humanity faced its first choice, trust God or trust themselves. Adam and Eve chose wrongly. They ate the fruit. And everything changed. Shame entered the world. Fear followed. They hid from God. But here's something incredible, God came looking for them. Not with lightning. Not with destruction. But with a question. Where are you? That question still echoes today. God didn't abandon humanity. Even in judgment, there was mercy. Even in punishment, there was hope. God promised that one day, evil would be defeated. But outside the garden, life became hard. Pain entered childbirth. Work became exhausting. Death became a reality. And soon, sin spread rapidly. One brother killed another. Violence filled the earth. Humanity drifted further and further from God. Then came Noah. In a world drowning in corruption, Noah walked with God. He wasn't perfect, but he was faithful. God warned Noah of a coming flood, a reset of the world. People laughed. They mocked. But Noah obeyed. He built an ark, not knowing rain as we know it today. And when the flood came, the earth was covered. Everything changed again. But just as creation began with water, God used water to bring new beginnings. The ark rested. The waters receded. And God made a covenant, a promise, never again to destroy the earth by flood. The rainbow became a sign of mercy, not wrath. Humanity started over, but the human heart remained the same. Pride returned. People gathered to build a tower reaching the heavens. They wanted fame. They wanted control. They wanted to be like God again. So God confused their languages, scattering them across the earth. Nations were born. cultures formed. And then, in the middle of all this chaos, God chose one man. Not a king. Not a warrior. Just a man named Abram. God called Abram to leave everything he knew. His home. His family. His land. And God made a promise that sounded impossible. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. And through you, all the families of the earth will be blessed. Abram believed God. That belief, simple trust, changed history. God renamed him Abraham, meaning father of many nations, even though he had no children. Years passed. Doubt crept in. Mistakes were made. But God remained faithful. When Isaac was finally born, it felt like a miracle. A promise fulfilled. And then God tested Abraham in a way that seemed unimaginable. He asked him to sacrifice Isaac. Abraham obeyed, trusting God completely. And at the last moment, God stopped him. A ram was provided. Once again, God showed that he is not a God who delights in death, but a God who provides life. Isaac grew, and his sons Jacob and Esau carried the story forward. Jacob, the younger, tricked his brother and stole his blessing. He ran away, afraid and alone. But one night, God met him in a dream. A ladder reaching heaven. Angels ascending and descending. God reaffirmed the promise. I am with you. Jacob's life was messy, full of struggle and transformation. God even changed his name to Israel, meaning one who wrestles with God. From Jacob came 12 sons, the fathers of the 12 tribes of Israel. Among them was Joseph. Betrayed by his brothers. Sold into slavery. Forgotten in prison. But God never forgot him. Step by step, God turned Joseph's suffering into salvation, not just for Egypt, but for his own family. What others meant for evil, God used for good. And as Genesis comes closer to its end, we see a family growing into a nation, guided by a God who never breaks his promises. This is not just an ancient story. This is our story. Creation. Failure. Mercy. Promise. And hope. And this is only the beginning. Joseph ki kahani surf ek by ki kahani nahi hai. Yer ek az kwab ki kahani hai jo dard siguzada hai, tuta hai, leaking for zinda ho jada hai. Sochia ek jawan ladka, jo apni bap kasab sapiera beta hai, jiski paz ranguranga kot hai, or jis ki kwaban mi sidar or suraj juk rahi hain. Joseph apni kwaban ko masumiat sa share kada hai, bina yer samji ki sak bolna kabi logon ki dulmi aag lagadita hai. Aski bias nafrat khan lagta hain. Un ki liya Joseph surf ek by nahirida, balkai ek threat banjada hai. Or furwo din ada hijab bias ketmi akela pa ka uskakot chin lead hain. Pali usi kadal khan ka plan hoda hai, leaking for usi zinda chod ka gulam bana ka bek dia jada hai. Sochia as pal ko. Ek by, jogar sador, zanjiran mi banda, answan ki south Egypt lajaya ja raha hai. Kio aswak Joseph kio lagda hoga ki god uski south hai. Shayad nahi. Leaking yahi Genesis kasab sa kubsurat pagam hai, jab hum god kio masuz nahi kadi, tab biwo kam ka raha hoda hai. Egypt mi Joseph Potiphar ki gar gulam banta hai. Or yahan hum dekta hain ki Joseph ki zindagi chahe jahan biho, god uski south rida hai. Wo a mandrisa kam kada hai. Dear uska mukam bada hai. Leaking fur ek or imtihan ada hai. Jute. Zolm. Bigunahi mikade. Potiphar ki biwi ki jute ilzam ki bar Joseph jail mi dal dia jada hai. Or yahan biwo tu jada hoga. Fursa leaking jail bi god ki plan sa bahan nahi thai. Jail mi Joseph du kaidi milti hain, ek baker or ek kuptra. Dono ki kwab hot hain. Joseph unki tabia batada hai. Dono ko keda hai ki jab tumbahan niklo, muja yad rakna. Leaking jays hai kupra bahar jada hai, wo Joseph ko bul jada hai. Du sal guzar jade hain. Du sal. Kamoshi ke. Intizar ke. Leaking fur ek din, pharaoh kud quab dekta hai. As quab jo jishi sa samaj nahi ate. Or tab kupra ko Joseph yard ada hai. Joseph ko jail sa nikal ka pharaoh ke sami laya jada hai. Ek gulam. Ek kaidi. Leaking jab wo bolta hai, to himmat or hikmat ke sath bolta hai. Wo keda hai, tabia merinahi, god ki tarif se hai. Pharaoh ke quab ke matlab hoda hai, sat sal ki kushali, fir sat sal ki hat. Joseph serve tabia nahi dita, balke solution bi dita hai. Or isi lami pa, Joseph ki zindagi palat jadi hai. Jail se sida palace tak. Pharaoh us Egypt ka dusra sab se powerful admi bana dita hai. Ab wohi Joseph, jo kabi buka gulam tha, ab logon ko anaj de raha hai. Ki had ke doran dor se log Egypt ade hain. Or ek din, Joseph ke by b ade hain. Wo usi pachin nahi pate. Leaking Joseph unhine pachin leda hai. Sochia us pal ka dard. Sochia yarden ka tu fan. Leaking Joseph badlay ke bajai imtihan leda hai. Wo unki dul badalt dekta hai. Jab by apni galti taslim kadi hain, jab Benjamin ke liya apni jan din ko taya ho jade hain, tab Joseph ro pada hai. Apni pachin zahir kada hai. Or fur wo jumla keda hai jo Genesis ka dul hai, tum eni jo burasocha, god eni usi bale ke liya istamulkiya. Ye serve Joseph ki kahani nahi. Ye haras insan ki kahani hai jo tud gaya ho, doka kaya ho, ye intizami ho. Joseph apni bap Jacob ko Egypt bulada hai. Purakandan wahan ka bas jada hai. God ka wadapora ho raha hoda hai. Abraham sakiya gaya wada, ek korm, ek nation, ab hakikat ben raha hoda hai. Jacob apni beaten ko duadida hai. Ha kabile ka mustik bil bayan kada hai. Or fur Jacob apni ankan band kada hai, perman ke sath. Genesis ka akri sin bohat gera hai. Joseph bimat wakt keda hai ke ektin god tumhain yahan sinikal ka wapas la jaga wo yakin ke sath mada hai. Ekes god pa yakin jo shuruat mi be faithful tha, or akri sans tak faithful raha. Genesis yahin kadam hodi hai, ek kueba sa leaking umid ke sath. Kiun ke god ki kahani kabi kueba pa kadam nahi hodi. Or yahan ruk ka, socher. Genesis hum kia sakadi hai. Ke god chaos se ordapida kada hai. Ke god broken cheesan ko use kada hai. Ke family messy hodi hai, leaking god faithful hoda hai. Ke quab late ho sakte hain, leaking jute nahi hot. Genesis hum ye batadi hai ke hum akle nahi hain. Wohi god jis eni roshni keopida kia, wohi god ahb and heron mikam ka raha hai. Or ab jab hum Genesis ki is kahani ki akri lamhun tak pohajdi hain, to ek bat bilkul waza ho jadi hai. Genesis surf shuruat ki kitab nahi hai. Yer ek wada hai. Yer ek tasali hai. Yer ek reminder hai ki jo god eni shurukia, wo beach mi chor ka nahi choda. Creation sila ka Joseph ki akri alfaz tak, ek hai awaz suanai dedi hai, main tumha sath hun. Sochya, hum eni Genesis mi kia deka. Hum eni andira deka, or fur roshni ko janam lit deka. Hum eni ek barg deka jahon sab kuch perfect tha, or fur us barg se bahar nakalni ka dad bi deka. Hum eni by ki hath samat deka, or fur by ki answan se gale lagta hubi deka. Hum eni flood deka, leaking rainbow bi deka. Hum eni quab deki, k deki, or fur tak pohanjni ka safabi deka. Genesis hum batadi hai ki god ki kahani hamisha sidi line minahi chalti, leaking hamisha sahi manzil ki tarif jadi hai. Or shayad jab aap yesun rahi ho, aap apni zindagi mi jishi as more pa hojo samaj nahi raha. Shayad aap eden mi nahi ho. Shayad aap jail mi ho, jays Joseph tha. Shayad aap art ke and a ho, bahar tufan chal raha hai. Shayad aap jishi wad ka intizar karahi ho, Jays Abraham Eni Kia. Genesis Hum ya Deladi Hai Ki God Ka Kam Surf Perfect Lamhun Minahi Hoda. God Ka Kam Sab says Iada Un Lamhun Mi Hoda Hai Jahon Hum Samajdi Hain Ka Kuch Bithik Nahi Hai. Genesis Ka Akri Alphaz Mi Mort Ka Zika Hai, leaking Da Ka Nahi. Huaba Ka Zika Hai, leaking Umid Ka Zayada. Joseph Jab Mudda Hai, to Wo Piche Nahi Dekta. Wo Aj Dekta Hai. Wo Janta Hai Ki God Apni Korm Ko Yahan Senikal Kala J Ga Wo Janta Hai Ki Kahani Abi Kadam Nahi Hui. Or Yahi Bat Humari Kahani Ki Liya Bisak Hai. Jo Aj Adhura Lagda Hai, Wo Kal God Ki Plan Ka Hisa Ban Sakta Hai. Genesis Hum Ye Bisakadi Hai Ki God Logon Ko Chunta Hai, Ferishtan Ko Nahi. Wo Perfect Logon Ko Nahi Chunta, Balke Willing Logon Ko Chunta Hai. Adam Gerda Hai. Noah Faisal Jada Hai. Abraham Galti Kada Hai. Jacob Doka Dida Hai. Judah Galat Fazle Kada Hai. Leaking Furbi, God Un Sab Ko Apni Kahani Mijaga Dida Hai. Kiun? Kiun Ki God Ki Grace Humari Kamzori says Iada to Kadwa Hodi Hai. Or Jab Hum Genesis Ko Band Kadi Hain, to Asilmi Hum Ekne Safar Ka Da Wazakol Rahi Hot Hain. Kiun Ki Exodus An Wala Hai. Kaun Kade Mi Jane Wali Hai. Musa Paida Hun Wala Hai. Samunda Du Hiso Mi Batni Wala Hai. Or Yer Sab Genesis Ke Beach Se Hai Uktda Hai. Creation Ka God, Wahi God History Ka Be God Hai. Wahi God Ah Become Ka Raha Hai. Is Leah Jab B Aap Apni Zindagi Mi Chaos Dekine, to Genesis Ko Yad Rakna. Jab B Aap Apni Quab Ko Kade Mi Dekine, to Joseph Ko Yad Rakna. Jab B Aap Apni Wad Ko De Se Ade Dekine, to Abraham Ko Yad Rakna. Or Jab B Aap Kud Ko Tute Hu Chukran Mi Dekine, to Yad Rakna Ke God Wahi Se Shuru Kada Hai Jahon Hum Kadam Ho Jade Hain. Agar Aap Ko Ye Kahani Pandayi. Agar Aap Ne Ismi Umid Mesuz Kr, Agar Aap Ne Ismi Apni Kahani Ka Koi Hisadeka, to is Pagam Ko Apni Dulmi Zindarakna. Kiun Ke Genesis Ka God Serve Kal Ka God Nahi Hai. Wo Ah Ka God Hai. Or Wo Kal Ka Be God Hoga. Or Yad Rakia, Jab God Let There Be Light Keda Hai, to Roshni Zarawa Adi Hai. Chahe Andira Kitna Hai Gera Kiun Na Ho.